I'm delighted to be here to teach to this adult audience, which I know will provide me with lots of questions and will be engaged. And I'm very excited about teaching this topic related to facts and reality, because this is really of paramount importance today, as I think everyone understands. A little preview of what I'm going to do. There's 3 sessions. This first session, I will talk about facts as they relate to science, and I suppose you could say politics as well. These are things that I know something about in the legal arena and so forth. And as you've heard, I've done some research in this. Next week, I'm going to talk about reality TV and what is real and what is fake in reality TV. And I'll be focusing on the Food Network because I'm a chef and I got involved in that. And so I'll be presenting that, my experience. You'll get to see some of that up here, and then I'm going to dissect it as to what really happened. And then I also will serve the food that I prepared there. Now, it's been about a year, so it's a little stale, but And then 2 weeks after that, I have to go to a conference, and 2 weeks after that, I'll be then talking about something I have far less expertise in, but which I've been intently working on for about 10 years now, and that's music. And I'm going to pose a rather controversial premise that today's pop music isn't real music at all. And so you'll get a history of pop music. I'll be doing some demonstrations here with my instrument, my guitar, to try to teach you a little music theory. And then that should be a lot of fun and engender a lot of discussion. And you'll hear a lot of music in that, some of which, given your age, you probably would never listen to at all. But you'll get a sense for how pop music has evolved. All right, now, let's talk about real facts, alternative facts, and fake facts, and how do you know? Oh, one last thing. This is being filmed in 15-minute segments, more or less. So I've never done this before, broken up a lecture or demonstration into TED Talk increments. So we'll see how it works. I'll talk 15 minutes, take a 10-minute, a 5-minute break, or a 1-minute break, however long it is, then we'll go to the next one, and so forth. I'm going to try to keep the questions to at the end of every 15-minute segment, if you can hold them. Okay, and that way we can kind of keep this going. So this is a little bit of an experiment, and you are part of the experiment. Okay, the parts of this talk. First, I'm going to talk about what are facts. What are facts anyway? This is not an easy question to answer in some circles of academia today. Why do people misunderstand facts if they're given facts? What are fake facts and alternative facts? You've heard this bandied about in the political arena a great deal. And where can you check on whether facts are real or not? Are there any places that you can go to as citizens to see if facts are real or not? So these are the parts of the talk, and I'm happy to say there are places you can go. But it's a very complicated issue today. And I would hope that at Syracuse University, they would start building courses in every university to students to try to address this issue of what are facts. First, a caveat. No, not a cravat. A caveat. First, there's a caveat, I have to say. Okay, my talk is not for you if you believe in global conspiracies. It's not for you if you believe that humans never went to the moon, and this was just an artifact of Hollywood, or that aliens exist and they landed in Nevada. These are patently absurd, and if you believe this, then you probably won't like this talk at all, because these are nonsensical things. Or if you think there's a matrix, that there's a worldwide conspiracy to control everybody. If you believe that, this isn't for you either, because it's nuts. All right? But there are, of course, organizations that influence the world a great deal, and this has led to the problem now of why facts are not accepted in some circles. Organizations, well, Isis, of course, is nothing. Well, they distribute improper and correct facts, too. They have the CIA, you have Google, Facebook, huge influence. And you can toss in Amazon and all sorts of digital we talk about. And banks, of course, do influence the world to some extent as well. So there are organizations that influence the world in facts, but there is no global matrix like the movies. So, what are the root causes of factual disputes? The root causes. First, people don't understand new facts. People live in their own world of facts, that their own personal experiences. And then when they're presented something that's different, there's a natural tendency, I don't understand that, so it's wrong. I don't want to accept it. That's the first thing. And the second is, some people, when they're given new facts, they don't like the new facts. And if they don't like the new facts, they don't want to accept it. So there's one hand, they don't understand it. The other hand, when it's given something that's different, they just don't like it and they don't want to hear about it. So I think these are two root causes. So what are facts? In my world, which is a world of science, which I think should apply to everybody's world, whether it's science or not, and in fact it does apply to everybody in this room, but you don't know it in a lot of your life, facts consist of some kind of information that's independently and publicly verifiable by anyone with appropriate training. So this is public information. It's not private information. It's something that's publicly available and can be reproduced by someone else who has the appropriate training. What do I mean by that? Well, okay, you have your car and you hear a knocking noise. You go to Romano, if you have a Toyota, they go in and say, well, we think you have a piston problem. Oh, let me check that out. Now you go to Automart, Autotech, where I bring my car, and I go there, oh, yeah, look at that, it's a piston problem. This is factual material, and it's independently verifiable. That's what I mean. Or doctor, if you get sick and you want another opinion. There's all sorts of ways. And if there are facts presented, there also has to be a way to prove the facts are wrong. Not that they are wrong, but they have to be testable. You just can't come up with, oh, this is a fact, and there's no way to show that it's right or wrong. There has to be a way to show what's right or wrong. This is called falsifiable, is a technical term in science world. So both these have to apply. And taking the case of your car, if you take it to Autotech, they say, no, that the guy at Romano was wrong. It's not a piston at all. I think it's blah, 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 whatever it might be. I don't know much about cars. And, okay, well then show me. And then you can look at it and then take it to a third person. So there has to be testable. It's not private opinions or beliefs. It's testable information. Now, how do you test facts? We're left with only 5 things most of the time. That is your 5 senses: sight, touch, hearing, taste, and smell. That's the world we live in as human beings. And that's how we evaluate whether facts are correct or not. Now, our sight and our smell and our taste and all the rest are limited by who we are, human beings. Looks like dogs don't see in color. We see in color. We can't hear as well as whales hear. But human beings are very, very smart, and we can bring technology to bear, and we can see things and come up with real facts in ways that are unimaginable just looking at using our own eyes. As a little side note, as I'm sure you're aware, or hope you'll be aware, Syracuse University, I'm proud to say, is one of the institutions involved in the Nobel Prize for Physics. They discovered what are known as gravity waves. That gravity has waves. I'm not going to go into that. That'd be a great talk. Have Peter Salson come here and talk about gravity waves. I'm told next Monday there's another major discovery that's going to be announced at Syracuse University. They're keeping the wraps under it, but as significant as that from this group. And so I'm really excited about it. To do that, they had to create an instrument so accurate that it could measure the difference in distance equivalent to the width of an atom or less. Profound technology. And what Syracuse did is they worked on the mirrors to make sure that this light beam going back and forth would not diverge less than or more than an atom's width. Profound. Okay, thank you. All right, so What about A Sixth Sense? All right, great movie. Some people say, well, you can't quantify love. If I said, my wife Betty and I have been married 42 years, and it's not that I believe she loves me. I know from empirical facts she loves me. The way she treats me, the way she buys my clothes, the way she takes care of me when I'm sick and when I'm not sick, the way she yells at me when I do stuff stupid. This all tells me empirically, scientifically, that she loves me. And so even things like love and so forth, I think, while there are feelings and emotions that are very private and very real for you, there are things that you can look at that actually you can use as very factual information. Here's a water thing. I'm a water guy. Water dowsing. Just last week, I was approached by a citizen around here wanting me to find water on their property. It's going to be very hard. It's a bad location. So he says, we had a water dowser come in. What do you think, Don? I said, it's BS. Oh, I don't know. I mean, they're used all over the West and all that. Well, why do we know it's BS? Because there was a study involved of 10,000 tests of water dowsing using 500 expert water dowsers in Europe. And here was the paper about it. It was called the Schwernen experiments, and it proved it was all bogus. Bingo, it's done. 10,000 experiments, 500 experts. That's good enough for me. All right? So that's an example of false fact. No evidence it works. So what are the standards of proof of facts? There are 3 standards of proof. I call them P cubed. What is possible, which means highly uncertain. Anything's possible. I technically could, God forbid, die of a heart attack right in front of you. I'm going to turn 70. It happens to people at my age. But I think it's highly implausible. It might be somewhat certain, but I think it's very implausible. In fact, I'd say it's highly improbable because I work out 3 times a week and I'm in pretty good shape and I'm not overweight and my gene pool is great. So I don't think that's going to happen, so you don't have to worry. But these are the standards of proof, and we'll talk later on how it's all mixed up in the public eye. Of course, we don't know everything about everything. Anything. In fact, we don't know everything about anything. Some facts work in some places and not in others. Ugh. For example, here's one great example of earth science. At least to think the universe looked like this over here with the earth in the center and shells of the heavens. And now we only know 5% of what exists in the universe. And all the rest we haven't a clue. We know it's there. It's called dark energy and dark energy. We don't know what it is. We know only a tiny piece of the universe. So those who want to deny facts say, we don't know anything. So how can you say, that facts mean anything? Well, the reason is we accept facts and incomplete data all the time. From your doctor, from your lawyer, from your auto mechanic, from the cops, and from your plumber. So we do this all the time. We don't need perfect facts. I know, a couple more minutes. We have to go with what we got. We have to go with what we got, and what we got is that 5%, and we do pretty well with the 5%. So I view it as a river, and the past is upstream. You're in the here and now, and you don't know what's going in the future, but you don't focus on where you were in the past. If you're in a canoe, you're focusing on the future, and that's the way I look at it. That we go with what we got in terms of facts, and so that's what facts are: public information, verifiable and testable. The end of section 1. Okay, any questions? Okay.
So if they're wrong, they're not facts anymore.
Okay, if there's a fact and it's proven to be wrong, then it is not a fact, or it's a partial fact. So facts can be right and they can be wrong. And in science, facts evolve all the time. In fact, I always tell my students it's kind of like a curve. It starts, I got to do it so reverse so you can see it. Okay, so here's like a graph, and perfection is here, and you start doing work, and it goes up. You're learning a whole lot, and then you learn a lot, and then it just kind of keeps going and going and going, but you never touch that. It's kind of like another idea is, I want to go over there to the other side of the room, and I can't because I'll move away from the screen, okay? So I go halfway, I go halfway again, halfway again. I never, ever reach it.
Well, then you would call it a theory, wouldn't you?
That wouldn't be a theory. There's two. The question is, what's a theory? Okay, there are two things in science. One is known as hypothesis, which is a really good educated guess based on a whole bunch of data of what might be. A theory, actually, you're pretty much got it proven. In the public mind, a theory has it's kind of ambivalent. Oh, I just theorize. Lawyers do this to me all the time in court. Oh, you're just theorizing, Professor. I said, no, I'm hypothesizing this. A theory, the theory of gravity, it's no longer a theory. It's a fact. The theory of evolution, it's a fact. The theory of continental drift, how the continents split, that's a fact. And so theories are, in the public mind, are given less certainty than they really are. To make something theory, it's got to be big time. It's got to be proven by all. Einstein's theory, they still call it theory. And it's constantly being tested. The gravitational wave confirmed another part of his theory, which he had based on a lot of information. All set?
Yeah, one more question.
Yeah.
Maybe this is getting too far ahead, but what about global warming and human contribution to global warming?
I'll get to that later. Yeah.